Okay.
This conference will now be recorded.
What about some of everyone in the audience? Can you guys unmute yourself and say hello, or I just want to make sure everyone can see.
Yeah, it's obvious.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna make this a quick presentation. It's about 10 minutes, but it's not about quantity, it's about quality. I wanna share with you guys a message. So this is who I am, and I have a degree in molecular biology and genetics. I sold a mobile app company, and I work as a mechanical design engineer here in the United States. I wanted to first give thanks to Mohammed, for finding me and having me as presenting here in the group. I really appreciate it, Mohammed. And everyone here, I want you to know that Mohammed is a great leader for reaching out to people and having a diverse group of presenters on this group. So I think that's pretty cool. I work in a company that does test fixtures, and this is what the presentation is about. RCM, Resilient CAD Modeling. So everyone can see my screen, right?
Yeah, it's always.
Okay, so RCM is basically, it's not about just modeling on CAD. It's about modeling the appropriate way, the best possible way. And RCM, it's a systematic best practices process to creating robust CAD models. So you're gonna make CAD models that are easily modifiable and don't break, essentially. When you need to make design changes, your CAD model is gonna be able to withstand those changes. So a lot of time your CAD model, your feature tree is going to look like this, with your features, your sweeps, your cuts, your sketches, and there is actually a structure that's optimal to organize this in. Because otherwise, when you try to make changes, your feature tree will blow up on you. We'll see a whole bunch of errors. For in the audience, how many of you guys have seen something like this happen to you before, all the errors?
Yeah, a lot.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so in regular CAD, it will look something like this, but in RCM, you have a structure. There's a skeleton group that contains your sketches and your planes, your core group, the host group, the quarantine group. I will explain what these groups are later. But in essence, if I were to give an analogy, I would say that RCM, I have an audio track here, it's like a beautiful Mozart song. It just sounds very cohesive and beautiful to the ears, versus sometimes when people model that, they just throw any kinds of feature on the feature tree, and it's not very appealing or aesthetic to the eye or practical. These are some reasons why we should implement resilient CAD modeling. As I mentioned, your models are less likely to break. There's standard rules that the whole team can understand and follow. Design intent. How many of you have heard about the term design intent before?
Yeah, me. Since I got like through examination, for instance, for CSWB, I got a lot of information about how to use defeaturing and design intent in order to make a quick modeling and get like a right answer for exams.
Exactly. So design intent is how you can go from being a good designer to a great designer. So RCM is about design intent. So how does RCM work? It has a group-based hierarchy. As you can see from the right side, we have the folders that the features will belong in, and it's standard rules that the whole team can understand and follow. So as you may have known in your modeling experience, your teammates, everyone here models a different way probably. We like to we have different practices, different things that we're accustomed to. But if everyone in a company were to model using the same methodology, like RCM, then it's a lot easier to exchange files. I can edit Mohammed's file, Mohammed can edit my files, and it's a more cohesive group environment. Excuse me. Key characteristics are that we name in RCM the features on the feature tree, and we decouple design intent from solids. I'm going to explain that in the next slide. So we're going to talk about design intent now. Design intent is not the solids, it's what defines your solids. So in design intent, we look here, it's the planes, the sketches, the dimensions, and it helps the designers develop the skills of seeing in 3D. So when you do RCM, you're going to be able to start visualizing the part. So orthogonal views. This is something that I highly recommend that everyone in this call practices and understands orthogonal views, so you can begin visualizing in 3D when you start modeling. These are the 8 groups of RCM. Now there's an entire class I teach about this subject, so we're not going to dive into the granular details. But as I said before, if you look here, you see the skeleton group. Everyone can see my cursor?
Yeah.
Okay, the skeleton group, the core group, surfaces, detail. So these are all groups that we create on our feature tree so we can slot the features under them. And this is how essentially you define each group. Like the skeleton group is where the design intent lives, and it has no solid features, no duplicate dimensions. So I'll give you examples of that. So this is the skeleton group. Up here is a little small, maybe that's as big as I'm gonna make it. But as you can see, there are no solids in this skeleton group. This would be the core group, and this is where you start creating your solids. So in your core group, you would make an extrusion, as everyone can see you're in a boss extrusion, but there are no dimensions in the core group because all your dimensions will be contained in your skeleton group. And this is on purpose so that when you edit the file in the future, all you have to do is change the skeleton group and your model will change. A thing to understand, a take-home point that I want everyone to know is familiarize yourself with parent-child relationships. Is this something that people have heard about before, parent-child relationships, or is that a completely new term to everyone?
Yeah, it's very powerful.
Okay, so parent-child relationships is basically when a feature depends on other features. So the feature is the child, and it depends on the parents. They're linked to each other. And there's a way that you can turn this on your feature tree so you can see what feature depends on other features. This is something that power users understand, and I would recommend anyone that's serious about being a CAD modeler and a designer understands what parent-child relationships is. So more details about the different groups and what they're composed of. Lastly, many of you may know that you want to leave your fillets and chamfers to the end of your modeling. And at the end of the day, we're coming here to the end of the presentation, that you are the master of RCM and it's not the other way around. So if what you saw here was a little stressful because all these details, right? All these things to memorize, in reality, it doesn't have to be that hard because I have some good news here. There's something that we call RCM light. You know, like something light, not heavy. You can mix some of the methodologies in RCM into the way that you currently model and get the best of both worlds. So this is something that I usually use, RCM light. I usually don't do so much of the labeling. I keep it at a minimal because speed is also important. So in the class that I teach, I also talk about RCM light. Let's find the slide. So let's see. Lastly, I do teach a class on this. So this is just a little sample. I wanted to basically introduce you, make you aware that there's a methodology, a structure that you can utilize to make your CAD models indestructible, that you can learn design intent, you can learn parent-child relationships, and that's where I teach the class at learnrcm.com. The class is actually $200, and we have webinars that we charge $4,000 for. But right now, we just launched the class, and I'm primarily focus on getting feedback. So I can give you a coupon code that will make the class cost only $8. If you're interested in the coupon code, let me see, I gotta find it. It's called $8. So if you type in $8 when you go to rcm.com, you can, let me see, like that. If you type this coupon code in, you can take the class for just $8 instead of the 200. So if you want to take a screenshot of this, if this interests you. And lastly, I also do run a podcast called Being an Engineer Podcast. If any of you guys want to be engineers, this is a good listen when you're driving to work, when you're coming home, during their commute. So I talk to people in the medical device industry, all kinds of engineers I interview, and I'm the co-host. Well, my name is Rafael Testai, as you can see here from the picture. Today's presentation was about RCM, Resilient CAD Modeling, and the idea is that if you learn RCM, it will make you a better mechanical design engineer. It can take you from being good to great. And if you're interested in taking the long class, the multiple hour class on how to do this, you can visit learnrcm.com, type in this coupon code, and you can take the class for $8. If you have any problems using the coupon code or any questions, feel free to message me on LinkedIn, Rafael Testai. Thank you, Mohammed, for the presentation, for allowing me to present, and I'm going to open it for any questions that anyone may have.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Really
Of course.
appreciate it. Okay, guys, if anyone got a question, feel free.
All right, so it sounds like there are no questions. So I wanted to thank everyone for being here today. And if you ever want to message me, I'm just Rafael Testai on LinkedIn. And thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, is there anything else?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Mohammed. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye. See you later. Have a nice day. Okay, guys, this meeting today is so short. So we got like a little bit information about resilience and how to use design intent is one of the powerful tools that I have been used through my journey from CSWA to CSWE. Also, if you guys like hear about model media, you're gonna definitely use this tool, design intent and child and parent relation, because since you use CAD modeling, you're gonna like face some technical issue or troubleshooting. So you better know a little bit information about how to use design intent or defeaturing as well in order to solve this problem. And also this tools is gonna make you really fast in order to get the better way in order to reshape or shape your design or your model in order to get to reach out to the perfect way of designing and shorten also. So if anybody of you guys have any question or something, or like got something else to, do you guys want to invite anyone to give you a little bit information about something that you are aware of in the area of SolidWorks or CAD modeling, computer art design, will be more than welcome to invite him to give you a quick brief about this special topic. What do you think, guys? So you can just type in the chat, or you can DM me. You're gonna find my account in LinkedIn. So see you guys in the next meeting. It's gonna be the next week. I hope that, inshallah. So see you later. And just let me stop the recording.
This conference will now be recorded.
What's wrong?